You know.
So tell us though, how did you come up with your names, your names? Did you just say, I like these names, or did someone remind you of these people's names, or like how did you come up with your main characters?
So that's crazy to me because I was like, the minute I started writing the book, the very first name that popped in my head was Ace. So he was the first character. I didn't have his first name. His real name is Darnell.
Yes.
But Ace came out of thin air.
Okay.
And so I was like, Ace, because of Ace, I guess, reference like AJ Ace made sense, like
That's
a nickname.
what I got when I said Ace. I said, this.
So it made that kind of, because it's simple, catchy, right off the gate. Because your main character, they should have something that grabs you. Yes. I thought that was going to do it.
Okay.
And then when it came to, I was like, okay, well, what's his lady's name? Okay, I'm like, all right. So I had to go through a few names.
Okay.
And then somehow Tamika popped in my head because I love the fact that I didn't have to call her Tamika. I could shorten it up and call her Mika. And those two characters made some. Matter of fact, once I started introducing other characters, I actually had to put a spreadsheet on why we didn't have Excel at that time. Right. So I had a little pad on the side, and I was starting to write down these people's names.
Wow.
And what you'll find is I'll go through my Rolodex of people, and not people that are close to me, but like if I go to a store, and the guy in the store is Mr. Smith, I will pull that name from out of my Rolodex and use his name as a character, because I can also see Mr. Smith. Right. Now I can build the features of that person as I'm writing about him. I can see Mr. Smith for real, and I can write about him. So that's how I came up with those names.
And that's really good. And Renee, I want you to pay close attention to what he's saying, because this is the creativity part that I'm telling you that you need to pull from.
And now let me back up.
When you keep saying,
now let me back up. So when you read my bio, there's one key thing. If you ever want to understand, it's people watching.
People watching.
I just came back from.
Get back to this.
I just came back from Baltimore.
Okay.
So I took the train down. So I had never been in Baltimore Penn Station. Okay. So when you come in, you're just getting in, you're going to get in, you're going to go to where you're going.
Right.
But when you're coming back home, I like to get there a little bit earlier, because now I sit in the station and I am just observing people. I watch what they dress. I watch how they walk. Wow. I see how they move. And if somebody else, I can pull out my phone. Yes. I take a picture on the slide, click, click. That's my next character ready to go.
So y'all gotta be careful now when you're on the train with AJ. Now he done pulled out his camera.
Yeah, man. But you didn't know I'm taking that picture.
Wow.
Click.
Okay.
But
and you can build a character off of that.
That's what writing is all about. Yeah. Most of my characters are just that way.
Observation. Wow.
Somebody that I observed, somebody who I've seen before. Right. I'll take some of their mannerisms. Yeah. So this is what I want you to pay close attention, because you keep saying, I don't have that creativity. Yes, you do.
But I'm getting it. Yeah. And I got to get it done by January.
Especially all the people that you cross paths with.
I know, and that's the crazy thing.
You see so many people across your day.
That is so insane. And that is so insane. And I guess it's partly because, one, I never had to think of things that way, right? Two, I'm like, this is the facts. This is the facts.
Yes.
This is the facts.
You got to bust
my
out
training.
that.
That was my training.
Yes.
The facts. Even with the children, what did you do? Tell me the truth. So all that's still ingrained, but now there's a whole other branch that now Carolina's pulling out of me.
Yeah, I have to.
She does, because I'm still over here.
But I would say this to you though.
She's gonna come on the other side.
But the fact that you are that way, that you are, Karen Everett's like that too. She's got that because you are from that whole audit, fact-driven world.
She trained me.
But listen to me, that can be a part of that story because you can take those facts now, because that's all your data points that you have.
That is true.
But now you don't have to tell the story straight through with facts. Right. This is the bucket of which you can pull from, and now you just flex it a little bit as you tell your story.
Right. I mean, it's good to have facts. You need 100%. To know. You need just remember that story writing is about the who, what, where, why, and how. So you do need to have some facts.
Yes.
This is why when I gave you all the scenario of the story that I wanted you to write, I had to give you all something.
Yes.
You did, yes.
Yes.
And I am so grateful for that, because I have to go wait, where's she going again?
So just for my audience, because now that AJ also took this challenge as well. So I had a challenge for all my new writers, it started with Renee, because Renee keeps saying that I can't write like that. And I'm like, stop it. Okay. Stop it. Because we're gonna change the way you think.
That is true. Yes.
So I put out this, right? And I wanted her to have an opportunity to try something new.
Yes.
And so once, let me tell you the scenario. The scenario was.
It still is. The scenario still is.
Still
right?
is.
Because
Still is.
Yeah.
The scenario is a woman is seeing a therapist because she has fears.
Right.
And the therapist tells her to go on a trip by herself to a Caribbean island where she meets a man and starts an affair. That's it.
That's it.
Anything that you want to put with that, how you want to work it, that's up to you.
Right.
That was the scenario. So after Al finished writing the book, and I'm so proud of him, he goes, "I'm an author now. He's like, I'm an author now, so I want to be in on that that story writing that you're doing."
I said, what what?
Well, she told me,
and I gave him.
She said it was due.
Yes.
And I was a day behind the due date.
Yeah.
I told her, look, I was doing some things. But when she told me how long y'all had, I didn't feel bad at all.
Exactly.
Because I wrote mine in like a couple of days.
Yes, he wrote it in a couple of days.
He was still off the get high.
I still was. Yes, I was.
His mojo was still ready.
But let's be clear. So to get to my book, I had been writing it for all those years. So let me tell you what really happened for me to cross the finish line. So, in 2023, I retired.
Yes, you did.
The following week, I walked across the stage and I got my Bachelor of Liberal Arts degree.
Yes, you did.
So now I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm releasing music. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
And 2024, I said to myself, I'm taking 2024 off. I ain't doing nothing. Okay. I done worked for 42 years. Okay. This is my year. What did we say about that self-discovery? This is that time to discover myself.
Yeah. Absolutely right.
When it hit the summer of 2024, I said, I got to finish this thing. I said, what am I doing? Yeah. And I reread it. I'm like, you got a great story here. You just got to end it.
Right.
And the lightning bolt hit me. And literally, it took me 2 days to write the last 2-3 chapters. I wrote these chapters because now I could succinct it up. I put it down and I walked away from it. I walked away from it for 2 days.
Okay.
Because I said to myself, I said, this is it. I got it. Okay. But I walked away because I wanted to make sure that it felt right.
Right.
So I went back and I read like the last few chapters to see did it flow. Okay. And when I felt it flow, then I went back and I reread the whole thing. And I came up and I told her, I said, I think I finished my book.
See, isn't that a great feeling? But I just want to put something in context for the viewers. So he said he was almost done. This is the book. You see how thick this book is, right? And within a couple of days, he finished the last couple of chapters. He had all this meat. You see all of this? This is the meat. He just had to put the little potatoes on the table right here.
But when it's coming, it's like
manna
from heaven.
That's how it
just got it.
Yes,
but Renee,
that's how it happens.
And that's normal because, like I said, I'm like 313 pages into Deception, but it's not finished.
Yeah.
Right.
I told Al I need about 3 more chapters to wrap things up.
Yeah.
And even though it seems like, well, go ahead and write them 3 chapters, but I don't ever want to rush my creativity.
No. And because you don't want it because it'll chop the flow. It won't flow.
Absolutely.
You need to keep reading it.
Yeah.
You need to go. So now
find it.
Right. Yes. So now before I can write some more, I'm gonna have to read at least the last 6 chapters so I can flow into the next one. So you just can't keep chopping it up.
Otherwise, it's like 2 different authors writing the story.
Exactly.
Nah.
And that's the thing. You have to know when it's done.
Yes.
You have to know.
Right. You have to say, okay, I think
this is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
Right. Not even I think.
Because you can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, and that was what she told me.
Right. Yeah. Yes, you do. And you're like, oh, this is enough.
But this is the benefit, Renee, of being able to see the end portion.
Yes.
To know.
You need to know. That's the difference.
Because when you know where you want the story to go,
that's true.
You can take it to that place.
Yes.
Right. This can't be an endless story.
That's what she said. She said it's not an endless story. You gotta end this thing.
Because frankly, because if you're gonna do that, and I told him that, if you're gonna do that, then make it
like a trilogy.
Yes. Because that's what I had to do. Yeah. Because, you know, my story is told in 3 parts, and I'm working on the last part now. Right. But every single book was its own entity.
Right.
And you know, you can read it as standalone books, but they're connected. Because that's how soap operas are.
Yep.
That is soap operas go on and on and on, and it never ends. But you get to an end of that story. Absolutely. And when they choose something, okay, what's happening now? We're going to get to the end of that, and then we're going to start another story over, because that's how we go. These are the lives of these people. Yeah. So he can keep this Ace and Mika story going for as long as he wants to. That's true. But he couldn't just keep that one book going all the way. You know, he needed to have a stop point, you know.
So I got a nice little cliffhanger in there.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. So I got a question. So how did you create the cover? How did you come up with who was going to produce it for you? Let's talk about that a little bit. Did you self-publish? Did you go to somebody? Or
so I have this good friend of mine that you know, has written several things, and I said, so, this is what I'm trying to do. Okay. How do I do it? She said,
can you guys
Google it?
Can you guys catch hints?
She said,
I don't know.
Figure it out.
Listen.
I had to figure it out. Figure it out.
Just so you all know, he'll do that to her too. So.
But you know what? Here's the thing.
She did. She gave me the.
Yeah.
She opened the door for me.
She gave starting
She didn't just slam the door in my face. Right, she opened the door. She said, "You want to start here?
Yes.
You want to start here and then do this." Okay. And I said, "Okay." Yeah. So I went down the path, and when I got stuck, I would come over and say, "Okay, this is where I'm at."
Yes.
And so what I like about this is, you know that classic line, if you give a man a fish, you got to feed him for the rest of his life. So what she did is,
I don't do that.
She know I don't like fish, so she gave me a little breadcrumb here.
I don't do that.
She gave me a little piece of chicken over here. She put a little lemonade out over here, but she wouldn't give me the whole meal.
Correct.
So she wanted me to walk my way through the process.
Go fishing.
And I want to tell you, it was one of the best things she did. So I had already made the decision I was going to self-publish it. Yeah. So I didn't know what avenue to go through. Okay. And I went through, you know, the biggest distribution company on the planet. It's Amazon. Amazing. So I said, the first way out the gate, I'm going to go through Amazon because they're going to do all that legwork for me. Yeah. And now knowing what I know, if I'm going to do future books to go further, I'm going to do it all myself and do it in-house, because it's just like being signed to a record label.
Wow, okay.
So let's just say if your record you sell for $10, okay, the artist, the person who created it, you lucky if you get $1 or $2 off of that. Yes. The record label gets, you know, $8, $9 off of it.
Everybody got to eat.
So when you learn the process, now you can do it in-house. You still can use them as distribution, but you become your own Amazon, and you do it yourself. All right. So that's what I learned in the process.
And that's actually what I did. Yeah. Yes, which is why I got all my books here.
Yes. Yeah, because see, now I knew that he had written this book, and I knew I was supposed to click on the link to buy the book. Okay, life happened. I got to the steps. I promise you, you probably could see me on your. I got to the steps and I said, "Oh, I ain't buy that book. You better have a book in the house for me when I get there." Yeah. So, whenever you guys are, you know, you're an author and you're promoting yourself, always have books on hand, right? Because you never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to see.
Keep a couple in the car.
That's right.
Got some at the house.
Yes.
And everywhere I go, I talk it up.
Yes.
But I will tell you, I also have another wonderful selling card that most other folks don't have.
What's that?
So when you go see a movie, there's a soundtrack that goes along with the movie. I release a soundtrack to the book. Because I'm a musician.
Yeah, that's in here somewhere. Music. So music. First love.
So if I walk up to somebody, I don't have a book, I will go to people and I will say, "You got Spotify? Let me see your phone." And I can take their phone and I'll find myself. I'll go to the book.
Yes.
And I'll hit it and it'll start playing the soundtrack from the book.
So now you know I gotta go to Spotify. Not tonight, because it's past my bedtime. So tomorrow I gotta go to Spotify.
That was was actually brilliant.
Wow.
I told him I'm gonna steal that idea for him because see, I got some songs that I want to put out because you know how I'm trying to get my songs out. Not because I'm a singer, but because I wrote these things and I want them out in the universe, right?
Well, if you need a background hummer, I could do that.
You know. but I told him I want to do a soundtrack to Deception because I have songs to match what's happening in Deception. So I would like to do. Yeah, me too. I'm gonna copy him.
So let me give you the big disclaimer.
What's that?
So when she did Someone to Love,
yes,
you know, she said, "Oh, I need some music to go along with my, you know, with the play, and the book." So I wrote these wonderful songs.
Yes. Hers?
Yeah. And she rejected every song I got. She kicked me to the curb and she took my son. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna fix her ass. I didn't know when and where, but here it is.
Because I thought
not true.
Did you use my songs? You did not. So what's not true?
No, but
what's not true? Come on now, this is true.
I didn't kick him to the curb.
It doesn't fit here. That's all.
Listen.
Here what? No, it's not about supporting. It's about. Here's the thing, and you know I ain't lying. Y'all know I ain't lying. So everybody who know AJ is gonna know I'm not lying.
Yes.
All right, let's hear it.
When I bring some material to you, I'm bringing my material to you. But by the time you finish with it, it's your material. You wait a minute. You've done. You wait. You do too. Can I finish, please?
Not with this project because there were no lyrics on Someone to Love. So I wrote original music, and we were going to come up with lyrics. I had instrumental tracks, so there are no lyrics. So you didn't bring any of that to that project. Now, to a other project, you can say that's true, but not to Someone to Your Love. So let's get the facts. Okay. Make sure they all the way straight.
I don't know what he's talking about then because I don't recall any of what he
I will play you. I got Someone to Love instrumental 1, Someone to Love instrumental. Matter of fact, Will Is Love is one of those tracks.
Okay, well then you needed it for your track.
You know what I'm saying?
See, that's what happened.
So this is a good way. It's a good way because I wasn't thinking about doing a soundtrack. I wrote them, you know, when I finished the book. Remember, that was summer.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, so the first thing I'm thinking is like, okay, I'm going to release this late summer, early fall.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man. I said, but I usually try to release a CD around my birthday. And that's December 7th.
Right.
And I said, oh, but if I got the book and they'll be, I said, well, then I have to push the book in. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I said, Purple Rain was a movie and a soundtrack. I said, why can't I write a soundtrack to the book? And that's how it happened. So the same way I wrote those last few chapters, I wrote them songs like that. Matter of fact, when I brought her down here, I said, I want you to hear the soundtrack to this book.
Yeah. Wow.
And she sat down here, and I can't tell you her face.
Oh,
she looked at me, she was flabbergasted because she said, I took main characters. I took Ace, I took Willa, and I took Tamika.
Okay.
So they have songs. Then I took a couple themes from the book, and I weaved those in. And she said, like it unfolded in her face like the way a movie does.
I love.
And so when she gave me that cosign, I knew I was onto something right.
So you guys heard something, right? Did you hear movie? So I can see. So
I wish someone would.
I don't know if you guys know. For you, I don't know if you guys know that Caroline wrote a play, right? She produced it, and I was there. I could totally see them turning this into a movie. So this is a talented family. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but I can see them working this together and creating a movie.
Well, first, Someone to Love have to be the movie because we were working on that first.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Someone to Love has always been something that we saw as a
why
movie.
it got to be first?
But see,
because I wrote the book first.
Whatever gets the most traction.
I'm gonna turn my head. And
whatever gets traction is what you put out. Then you take the other stuff and you bring it along behind it. That's how good marketing works.
I'm just so we gonna move past that. But so
no,
AJ, how do we buy the book?
Well, as you said, you can go to Amazon. And you can look at the title of the book, which is just Ace and Mika, or you could go to my name. It's A.L. Jones Sr., and you could find the book that way.
Okay.
And if you follow me on social media, you can see me on Facebook, you can see me on Instagram, on Twitter. Most of the time it is my name or the Brother AJ. All my music stuff is under the Brother AJ. Okay. So that's the way you would be able to find me.
And you said also on Spotify, so they can find it the same
way? Spotify, you can
just
type in Ace and Mika, or you type in the Brother AJ, it'll bring you right to the project.
And one last thing. So if you had to give some advice to a new author, what would you tell them?
Oh, I would say a couple simple things. Number one, you know your voice. You know who you are.
Good one.
Above all else, stay true to your voice, because that's what people are looking for. They're looking for your story. Yeah. So that's number one. Okay. Number two, don't wait. Don't wait.
Say that again.
Say it.
We think that we're going to be here forever.
Yeah.
And we think that we think it needs to be perfect. And what you find out in life is that we are imperfect creatures. Yeah. And so it's in our imperfection that makes us great.
That's right.
So why are you trying to make this perfect work?
That's right.
Because what will happen is if you start this work in 2000, it'll take you 25 years to release it because you can't make it perfect. Yes. So use your own voice. Yep. Stop trying to be perfect because you can get it out. Yeah. And then the third thing is be proud of your work. Yes. A lot of people let other people tell them that your work has no value, that you're less than. And if you go to them same little pages in front, I give you a little thing about my haters in there because I want you to understand I love them people. You need them in your life.
You do need them.
Yes, because they will fuel your passion. Yes. And I say that, I don't say that to be mean or evil, but what I'm saying is that, especially in this world of social media, somebody said it very well. I should have clipped whoever said it, but I really love this comment about social media. Yeah. And they say, do you know what your social media is? It's a highlight reel. They don't see you sitting on the toilet. They don't see you in your bed with the covers up, with your face all snottied up and all that. They see you glammed out, decked out on a cruise ship, standing on top of the Eiffel Tower. Right. It's your highlight reel. Right. Right. So treat your life like it's a highlight reel when you're supporting your work.
I love it.
Okay?
I love it. We thank you. Y'all, you don't know. AJ will talk. If we sat here, we would be here till tomorrow. So we appreciate AJ because we love him so much. Y'all, that's Caroline's husband, but I love him too. I love him too.
Everybody loves AJ.
Everybody loves AJ.
I want to thank y'all ladies for having me. You know, I love your platform, and I wish more people could find you and funnel in, because there's so many authors out there. This is a great place and a great space for them to get their voice and their message out.
And speaking of finding us, we are in several places.
Yes.
We're hosted by Podbean, but we are carried through most of the networks. So you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Pandora. You can find us on iHeartRadio. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on a lot of the networks.
Just find us.
And then just find us. Yeah, basically just find us. And the thing about it, what I love about people who listen to podcasts will find you because you're in all the spaces and places where you need to be. Yeah. And anybody is say, oh, I don't have Podbean. You don't have to listen on Podbean. Go listen on YouTube. Yeah. I have a YouTube channel. Go listen on Pandora. Go listen on iHeart. Go listen on Spotify. Tell a friend. Yeah.
Don't keep it to yourself. Don't gatekeep. Don't gatekeep.
So we're out there.
Here for you.
We're out there, and I have several platforms. Our Author Speak is just one of them. We will be coming back soon. I don't know when. I need to ask him. But Living Your Best Life with Caroline and AJ. We still doing that podcast. Yes, I'm doing an All Things Spiritual podcast. Yes. And I have the one that started it all, A Candid Conversation with Dr. Caroline Bethea-Jones. So I'm inviting you all to come have a conversation with me because I like talking to people. It may seem like I don't, but I really do.
She really does.
I really do.
Show you right.
So we want to thank you for joining us this evening. You've been listening to Author Speak from the Real Talk, Real People podcast, and our guest tonight was Alvin Bethea-Jones, brand new author of Ace and Mika.
Thank you.
And that's a very, very good novel. And I'm not just saying this because he's my husband. I'm saying this
and
because
she wouldn't say it. You see who she make me jump through?
Let me tell you something. Everybody know that I am real. They don't come
real talk.
They don't come no realer than me.
That's right.
This is why my network is called Real Talk.
That's right.
With real people, a candid conversation, because I don't play that mess. We not doing that.
Like, I'm an author. You better step your game up.
Listen, bring it. But anyway, thank you for joining us this evening, and we will be back next month with another author. And we just gonna keep having fun, because you know what, life is too short for us to be sitting up here with, you know, we go to work every day, we do the thing. Well, he don't go to work every day, but you know, we do all the things that we have to do. I'm gonna do some of the things that I love to do because we love it. That's it. So thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Awesome, lady.
Awesome. Yeah, but you're gonna cut that.
That was so fun!
Thank you.
Oh my goodness!
That was a lot of fun.
That was so fun!
Yes. Always a lot of fun.